Hello and welcome to this video tutorial for how to take a digital photograph and convert it into a line-based image for drawing or painting or transferring, mounting on another surface. However you want to do it, simply take a photograph and convert it into line and save yourself a little bit of trouble. So what I have are two photographs open in Adobe Photoshop. This is the program that you'll need to do this. Each of the photographs is fairly complex, would take quite a bit of time to draw. Not impossible, but certainly when you want to do something like paint or do something else with it, taking the time to get all your lines down certainly can be time consuming. So how to take and create it into a simple line-based image. A lot of people will simply apply the filter under Stylize, Find Edges, and that will take and create a line based drawing. This one's fairly good. You could probably go in and do some pretty good work on it without too much trouble. If we were to go to this image, this is a fairly complex image, a lot of texture, and apply the same filter under Stylize, Find Edges, we're left with a pretty interesting photograph. Even after we were to desaturate the image, which means taking out all of the color, that's still a lot of image and texture and value, not something very simple, easy to work with. So this process will take that same, get us to the same result, but a slightly better version of that result. So going back to this image, first thing I'm going to do is desaturate the image. So image adjustment, desaturate it, and that again just removes all the color, makes things a little bit easier. Second thing I'm going to do is play with the levels or the values a little bit, increase my darks, maybe increase my lights, maybe if I want to slide the midtones one way or another. This seems pretty good, so I'm going to just leave it alone with my midtones. Then we're going to take this picture and apply another filter to it. This one can be found under the filter gallery. So we're going to click on filter gallery, and what you'll usually see is this list of different filters. There's quite a bunch here. Take some time to go play with them sometime. But the one we want is under artistic, and it's called cutout. What cutout is going to do is it's going to posterize the image or flatten the values into shapes. So it takes the darks and flattens them all into one value and the lights and the midtones, etc. But it also allows us to have some control over the quality of that edge. So first thing we're going to do is decide how many values we want, and that's under this levels. So by increasing the number of levels, you're going to add more complexity to the drawing. By decreasing it to the lowest possible number, you're going to increase the simplicity, but maybe be left with something that doesn't give you a lot to work with. Okay, so kind of find out where you want to be, somewhere in the middle or the extreme, just depends on what you want. These two sliders down at the bottom, the edge simplicity and the edge fidelity, allow us to take the image and the lines around those levels and change the simplicity or the ease of them. By increasing the simplicity, the lines are going to become more simple, obviously, and less complex. And then the fidelity means how truthful that line is to the original image. So by increasing the simplicity and decreasing the fidelity, you get a fairly simple edge. But that probably doesn't give us a lot to work with, so perhaps want something a little more close to the original, like that. So after you're happy with this, you can then go click OK. It's going to apply that to the whole photograph. And then we're going to go to the filter and go back to finding edges. And you'll see that we have an image that is fairly close to the original picture, but still gives us enough lines to work with, but also quite a bit more simplicity than this image, which was just find edges, and this one where we've gone through the filter process. It's still fairly complex, but you can play with the filter the under filter gallery, the first filter that we work with, and that will help you get a simpler edge. So we're going to do this one more time with this image, which is a very texture-based image. When we applied the filter, it was still a fairly complex image. So first thing we're going to do is again desaturate it, play with our levels, and just kind of see. This feels like it has way too many darks, so maybe by sliding the slider over and creating some more midtones, that's going to give me a better image when I go into my filter gallery and use the cutout filter to posterize the image and create my edges. So this is a fairly textural image, like I said, so it's going to take a while for the filter to render all of the changes. We're going to zoom out a little bit so we can kind of get a better view of what it's going to look like. So it's still quite a bit more simplicity, but perhaps by decreasing the levels, increasing the edge simplicity, we might create something that's even simpler to draw from. So let's just go with this and see how it looks when we apply the filter. So there's our picture, and then we're going to go back to filter, stylize, and find edges. So if we compare this one again to this one, definitely simpler, definitely something that's a little bit easy to work with. Now this is still a very textural image, but if we were perhaps creating a painting or some other kind of image over the top, this would be an easier place to start than something like this. So this is just a tool, not meant to substitute for the process of drawing, for observation and communicating your ideas, but certainly a shortcut for getting from one end of your art piece to the other. Hopefully this will make things easy for you. Thank you.